Or could you have, by some sort of tax strategy, minimize that tax on that property by either increasing your cost basis by the amount you put into it, or whatever that looks like. So there's a million different ways to skin the cat.
What's been your biggest frustration or your client's frustration when it comes to the 1031 exchange or capital gains tax deferral?
So, I mean, the frustration now is that Biden might eliminate the 1031. From everything I hear, is that that's on the chopping block, and I don't know where that went or if it actually happened. But at the end of the day, I have a background. I have my CFA. I also have my MBA in finance. So I came from that world. I understand that space a little bit as far as the investment side of the equation. But a lot of the investors, when they're doing these 1031s, yes, they're deferring taxes. But at the end of the day, are you deferring taxes with overpaying on another property? So are you just selling high to buy high just for the fact that you're deferring the taxes? And then what's the cost of capital? What does that look like for an investor, right? So yes, you defer the 20% capital gain tax, but are you paying 30% above the market value where you probably would have been better off to sell and pay the tax? Or could you have, by some sort of tax strategy, minimize that tax on that property by either increasing your cost basis by the amount you put into it, or whatever that looks like. So there's a million different ways to skin the cat.
Yeah, we call it the shotgun wedding, Kyle. You got to get engaged in 45 days and married within 180.
Yeah.
And, you sell high and you buy higher 180 days later.
Right.
And you take on more debt, equal or greater value, and you love to be a seller, but you hate to be the buyer, right? And this is what happened in the 08, 09, 010 crash. People in 04, 05, 06 love to be sellers, hated to be buyers.
Right.
And then the music stopped, and you're exactly right. They'd overpaid. They didn't have enough diversification, liquidity. They had too much debt. So, Kyle, if there was a way to defer capital gains tax, sell high and buy whenever you want, would that be of value to you and your clients?
I mean, that would be huge. I mean, personally, I do a lot of investing myself, and I don't do the 1031 because I don't want to have that shotgun wedding. If I have to pay the taxes, it is what it is. I'll move on and find something else. But I think the capital gains tax deferral would be huge. If there were a way to do it where it made sense as far as like the overall picture.
And what if that way also deferred capital gains tax on the sale of cryptocurrency, high-end luxury primary homes, businesses? In other words, remember the 1031, it only applies to investment real estate. And you're absolutely right. Biden is proposing a potential elimination or reduction of the 1031 exchange, which essentially means they're going to take only $500,000 of gain for the 1031 and allow you to do that. But he's also proposing just about doubling the federal from 20 to about 40% of the capital gains tax rate, eliminating the stepped-up basis. So there's like so many challenging headwinds. But if there's a way to defer tax on cryptocurrency, primary luxury homes, save a failed 1031 exchange, public or private stock, what would that mean for you and your clients, Kyle?
I mean, it would make a much more the velocity of money and the movement of money and the ability for folks to transact more frequently, I think would be great, and it would be a really solid market. I mean, it would take away the hesitation that a lot of folks have that they won't sell. So a lot of people become penny foolish, right? Where at the end of the day, they won't sell because they want to pay a gain. And you see in crypto a lot, especially folks that kind of held on when we had the crash recently in the last few weeks, right? So I owned a lot of Bitcoin. I owned a lot of ADA. I owned a lot of Ethereum. And I sold all of it the day after Saturday Night Live when Elon Musk was on. And I said, I'm going to lock these gains in. I had about 100% to 200% gain. I had a really solid gain there, and I said, I'm going to lock these in and not be the guy holding the bag. And since then, I've gotten back in, but I think a lot of folks don't sell because they're scared of capital gains. But I say to people all the time, well, you don't have to worry about a gain if you have a loss, so you can pick either way. I mean, your choice.
Yeah, absolutely. So all that being said, I was teeing you up. By the way, Kyle and I have never met before until just 10 seconds before the show started. And so he probably doesn't, he's so busy. He's selling, 500 homes a year. He doesn't have probably know what I do, but we help people, Kyle. We do a thing called a Deferred Sales Trust. And It's actually the passion behind that was the '08 crash when people really got hurt. And we found out that there's something that's not a Delaware statutory trust, it's not a 1031, and it works for cryptocurrency. In fact, we're doing an Ethereum case right now. It's a $12 million Ethereum case. Check this out, Kyle. They bought it for $100,000 because this is a couple in the Bay Area. $100,000 over about like 5 or 6 years. Okay, it jammed up to $6 million in 2017. They're giving high fives. But they're looking for a tax deferral strategy. And just like that you were saying before, they're not selling because they don't want to pay the tax. They can't find anything in 2017. Guess what? Things crash. Now they're upset. Now they're bummed. Well, guess what? 60 days ago, it went up to about $9.5 million. Now they find us and they're like, oh, this is amazing. We want to defer our tax. They ask some questions. It goes up to $12.5 million. Then it cut back again, right? And so in this window here, we're still going to sell. They're still going to do great. But the point is, they're going to sell and defer about $5 to $6 million of capital gains tax. But here's the transformation. Once the funds are in the trust, guess what you can do with them? Well, you can buy investment real estate, multifamily property that gives cash flow. What does that cash flow do for them? Well, even 5 or 6% on $10 million, they never have to work again. Two kids, right? They work 50, 60, 70-hour weeks, and it's a lot, right? And so now you have a chance to just transform your wealth, transform your time and your energy. So that is what we do here at Capital Gains Tax Solutions. You can go to capitalgainstaxsolutions.com and learn more about the Deferred Sales Trust. That being said, Kyle, you have any questions on that? Or?
No, I think that's a good strategy. Obviously, that's super helpful and can be helpful for folks in that position, and it can avoid that. I don't want to sell because I don't want to pay taxes. So I think that's a great strategy to have and a strategy for people to implement.